Good day, everyone, especially to you, Coach Jude. Before we get started, I would like to introduce ourselves first with my co-members. My name is Ginaldine Escamal from BTLET HE1A, and I am the little teacher from Study Hub 5, together with Chaira B. Mariano, Jessica T. Poseso, Princess Elaine E. Lakay, and Rose Ann Abejero. So for today, I am the first reporter who will discuss about the LCT, or as known as Learner-Centered Teaching. So what is Learner-Centered Teaching? Learner-Centered Teaching is an educational approach that prioritizes the needs and active participation of students, placing the focus on their individual learning process rather than solely relying on teaching-led instruction. Essentially, the teachers acts as a facilitator to guide students in constructing their own knowledge and understanding. So LCT is a variety of active learning strategies like group work, project-based learning, simulations, debates, and reflection exercises to cater to different learning styles. If you are wondering why did I say that teachers serves as a facilitator, the teacher's roles to guide, support, and provide feedback rather to simply deliver informations. That is why the teachers serves as the facilitator for children to learn more and to be better. In LCT, students takes more responsibility for their learning by making choices about how they engage with the material, ask questions, and participate in discussions. So here are the benefits of LCT, or as known as learner-centered teaching. So the first one is to increase students' engagement and motivations. Second is deeper understanding of concept through active learning. The third is to develop and of critical thinking and problem solving skills. And the last is to improve collaboration and communication skills. In LCT, it is also involves skills instructions, reflections on learning and how it is achieved, students' control over learning, and collaboration within the classroom community. So if you are confused, what is the characteristics of LCT? So LCT has a 5 dominants, which are the participations, clear skill instructions, reflections, learner autonomy, and collaborations. Moreover, the benefits of LCT are boosting students' engagements, memorizations, and problem solvings, and etc. The teachers here in LCT is more responsible because teachers gave knowledge, giving motivations, help the students to boost their confidence, um, enhance their skills, and etc. So that teachers is very important. Additionally, teachers also demonstrate on how they explain about their topics so that the children or the students will understand even more wider for them to know what is the topic all about. So that's all for my topic. Once again, my name is Ginaldine Escamal from BTLED HE1A, and I am the little teacher from Study Hub 5. So now, let us Shaira discuss about the next topic that we will be tackled. Thank you.
So, thank you, Miss Janelle. Good day, everyone. Good day, Coach Jude. So, today I will going to discuss the
Paradigm shift.
so what is
Paradigm shift.
dim shift was first coined by the American philosopher Thomas Kuhn in his 1962 book The Structure of Scientific Revolution, uh, A paradigm shift describes a fundamental change in the back concept and experimental practices of how something works or is accomplished. So I have here a cycle of the paradigm shift. So we have a paradigms concept, perceptions rather. So followed by thoughts and understanding, um, behaviors, habits, and way of being. A paradigm shift refers to a fundamental change in prevailing viewpoints and practices across social, scientific, and technological, economic, and cultural domains. So I have here the overview and example. So an overview, a paradigm shift involves a complete transformation in the underlying assumption, theories, and methodologies that guide a field or a field of knowledge of work. Um, Paradigm shift challenge existing framework and establish new ways of thinking and approaching problems. They often led to significant breakthroughs, advancement, and disruptions within their fields. So we have an example. So example of the geocentrism to heliocentrism to shift from the beliefs that the earth was the center of the universe, um, geocentrism, to the belief that the sun is at the center of the heliocentrism. So, next example, we have flat Earth to spherical Earth. The shift from the belief that the Earth was the flat to the understanding that it is a sphere. A paradigm shift is a fundamental change in the way we think about approaching particular subject in represent a complete overhaul of a complete overhaul of the prevailing framework, replacing old concepts and methods with new ones. This concept, popularized by the American physicist and philosopher Thomson, is widely used in various fields including sciences, business, and the culture. Conclusion: paradigm shift are a fundamental concept of progress is science, business, and the culture. They represent a fundamental change in our understanding of the world, leading to a new ways of thinking, acting, and interacting. While this shift can be challenging and disruptive, they are ultimately essential to progress and innovation. So that's all for my presentation. So again, my name is Shira Mariana from Britiled HE1A from Study Hub 6. So now we can proceed to Miss Jessica Boseso. Thank you.
Before we start, I will introduce first myself. My name is Jessica Tiboseso from Bitiled HE1A and also from Study Hub 5. So now, before we start to my assigned topic, I will give a short recap first about the topic of Shaira. It's all about the paradigm shift. So the paradigm shift is that's kind of like a paradigm shift. It's a major change in how we understand something. A shift is our perspective, a new way of seeing the world. It's like throwing away our old glasses and putting on a new pair and allow us to see things in a completely different light. So, sometimes these shifts happen gradually over time, like when we discover new scientific theories. But sometimes they happen quickly and dramatically, like when a new technology changes and way we live. Either way, Paradigm shift is a powerful force that can change the way we think, learn, and interact when I with rather the word. So now that's all about now my topic. It's all about the learning-centered philosophies. So learning-centered philosophies are about the recognizing that each student is unique and learn in their own way. It's about giving them the freedom to follow their interests, explore different ways of learning, and become the best versions of themselves. It's a shift from the traditional teachers known best model to a more collaborative and empowering approach where everyone is a learner and a teachers. It's about creating a space where learning is a fun, engaging, and relevant to the lives of the students. So means instead of just listening and memorizing, students are encouraged to ask questions, solve problems, and work together. It's like building a house together where everyone contributes their skills and knowledge to create something amazing. So now that's all about the learning centered philosophies. So including the learning centered philosophies including the progressivism, humanism, and constructivism. So now, first is the progressivism. Progressivism is the most conservative, rather traditional or flexible philosophy. Is largely a product of Aristotle's. Rationalism and its subsequent treatment by Thomas Aquinas, and it assumes that man's basic or essential characteristic in high ability to reason. Early true reasons can man understand existence and how he is required to live. Perennialists believe that one should teach the things that they believe are of everlasting importance to all individuals everywhere. Educational philosophies suggesting that natures including the human nature is constant and school should teach content and topics that have withstood and withstood the test of time. Describes progressivism as a conservative or traditional philosophies like to Aristotle's rationalisms and Thomas Aquinas. It claims that human reasoning is essential for understanding existence and living a meaningful life. It contrasts many perennialism emphasizes teachings timeless truths and enduring knowledge that are universally important. This philosophy suggests that human nature is constant and schools should focus on content that has proven to be significant over times. So now that's all about the progressivism. So now let's proceed to the humanism. So now humanism is a student-centered philosophy that focuses on enhancing one's innate goodness, rejects the idea of group-oriented educations, and upholds the idea of enhancing individual development. This philosophy also believes that students should be actively involved with their education on all levels, and students should be able to make choices about what they will be learning. The purpose of humanism is to create interest in all spheres of life. Believes learning is viewed as a personal act to fulfill one's potentials. Believe in the necessity of studying a person as a whole, particularly as they grow and develop over a lifetime. So means humanism is a student-centered educational philosophy that emphasizes individual development and the inherent goodness of each person. It opposes group-oriented educations and encourages students to be actively involved in their learning, making choices about what they study. The goal of humanism is to foster interest in all areas of life and view learning as a personal journey toward fulfilling one's potential. It also advocates for a holistic approach, considering a person's overall growth and development throughout their lifespan. So now that's all about the humanism. So now let's proceed to constructivism. Our own understanding, what is the constructivism? So now I will discuss to you about the constructivism. So the third parts of learning centered of philosophies. The constructivism. Constructivism refers to the idea that learners construct knowledge for themselves, each learner individually, and socially construct meaning as he or she learns. It suggests that learners should be active participants in learning activities, that learning should be guided rather than presented by teachers, and that interactions and discussions are critical components of the learning processes. Learning happens when students combine new and old ideas. However, learning acquires if students are actively engaged. It is also a learning theory that equates learning with creating meaning from experience. So means, constructivism is a learning theory emphasizing the learners actively build their own understanding by connecting new information with prior knowledge and experiences both individually and socially. Effective learning, it requires active participations, guided by teachers who facilitate rather than lectures, and relies heavily on interactions and discussion to creating meaning from experience. So now, that's all about the constructivism. So the conclusions of progressivism is in education is like a big open classroom where learning is not just about memorizing facts, but about exploring the world and figuring things out yourself. It's about letting kids be active participants in their learning, not just passive listeners. So, humanism encourages us to be kind, compassionate, and understanding towards ourselves and others. It emphasizes reasons, logic, and critical thinking, but also acknowledge the importance of emotions and our shared humanity. Lastly, the constructivism. Constructivism is instead of just passively receiving informations, learning actively build their own understanding. They use their experiences, observations, and interactions to create meaning and make connections. It's like taking what you already know and adding new pieces to make something bigger and more complex. So now that's all about the three learning concept philosophies, the progressivism, humanism, and constructivism. So now that's all about my topic. It's all about the learning concept philosophy. So again, my name is Jessica Tiboseso from Biteled HE1A and also from Study Hub. Thank you, Coach Jude, for listening and watching. God bless.
Good day everyone, especially to you Coach June. So before I'm going to represent my video presentation, I'm just to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Princess Aline Ilacay from BTLED HE1A from Study Hub number 5. So today I will discuss to you the two topics which is the assigned for me, which is the first is supporting research and the second is resistance to changes, managing the shift. So, today we're going to start the first topic, which is the supporting research. So today I'm going to discuss to you the first topic, which is the supporting research. So these studies talk about how learner-centered teachings help students learn better. Instead just listening to the teacher all the time, but students become more involved in their own learning. So from the supporting the research, there are five. Today I will discuss to you the number one of supporting the research, which is the qualitative examination of connection between learner-centered learning and past significance learning experience. So, according to TIM, since 2012, this study shows that students learn better when teachers connect lesson to their past experience. If the lesson relates to the some things they already know or experience, it becomes more meaningful. So next is the number two. Which is the role of teachers, efficacy, and characteristic on teaching effectiveness and performance and use of learning center practices. So, according to Cario Magno 2007 graduates, this research explained that teachers who believe in themselves, which is the teacher efficacy rather, and have good teaching skills can make learning more effective. So they use strategies that focus on students, like for helping them to learn in ways that fit them best. So the number three is, which is the impact of learner-centered teaching in student learning and strategies. So, according to Maria Angeles, Hinolango, and Amparo Bedua Degnagsaw rather since 2012. So these studies found that when teachers use learner-centered teaching, students develop better learnings, skills, and strategies. So they learn how to study and solve problems on their own. So next is the number 4, which is student-centered learning in classroom, a strategy for increasing student motivation and achievement. So according to Pai and Manjula Maila 2016, this research say that when students take part in activities, they become more motivated on their own life and skills and do better in school. It shows that learning is not just about memorizing but also about how to applying themselves and what they learn. So next is the number 5, which is the learner-centered classroom practices and assessment. Memorizing, student motivation, learning, and achievement. So according to Barbara and Linda Miller, this study highlight that when teachers focus on student-centered learning and proper assessment, students feel more motivated themselves and learn better and to achieve more. So that's all the first topic, which is the supporting research. So we move in the next topic. So now we proceed the second topic, which is the resistance to chance managing the shift. So it is human nature to counteract any changes. But change is inevitable. The reason why people resist to change is because it's not an easy transition and there is the fear of unknown. Student resist learner-centered approaches for a variety of reason. So they have four most common reasons student resist learner-centered approaches. They are, so the first is learner-centered approaches are more work. So these approaches are more work for faculty who now face complex instructional design issues, but the student resist because they quickly realize that this means much more work for them as well resistance that is based on the increased amount of work is resistance for the right reason from the teacher perspective. So next is learner-centered approaches are more retaining. So let's move in the number 2, which is the learner-centered approaches are more retaining. So from teacher to student, requiring them to be more active in their learning. Since they are used to traditional methods their learning and methods where teacher lead, the change can feel overwhelming. So they may worry about making mistake, failing, or not understanding the materials. So this anxiety often comes from their own perception if they don't see themselves as a capable learners. So they resist the approaches. So we move the number 3, which is the learner-centered approaches involves losses close since 1994. So according to Close, he's explained that as students move to a deeper level of understanding, they lose the comfort and stability of their previous knowledge. So this can make learning feel overwhelming, especially in world that is already complex and confusing. So some students may resist these changes, not because they don't see the benefits, but because they emotionally long for the simpler, more structured learning environment they were used to. So next, we remove the last four, which is the learning center approaches maybe beyond student. So now we're going to discuss the last related on resilience to change managing the shift, which is the learning center approaches may be beyond student. If the teacher are unfair to the student and unethical or ask student to engage in ethically compromise behavior, then we should hope that students would resist despite the fact that they may do so at some personal risks. Most faculty are not unethical or unfair with students, but the learner center techniques selected may ask students to take approaches, complete work employing methods, or use particular structure that are beyond student abilities to handle. So that's all my topic assigned, and I hope you understand my discussion, and that's it. Thank you for listening and watching.
I am Rosa Navarro from Study Half number 5. So today, before I start my presentation, I will give you a short recap about the previous reporters discussed to you. So this is about the supporting research and resistant to change. Research consistently showed that people often resist change due to a variety of factors including fear of the unknown, potential loss of control, disruption to established routines. So providing clear communication involving individuals in the change process, addressing concern directly and offering adequate training and support. My assigned topic is all about the dimension of learner-centered teaching. So, there are 5 key dimensions in learner-centered teaching. First is the balance of power. Challenge the traditional power structure and the role of authority in the classroom. Balance of power, challenging the traditional power structure in the classroom, involves shifting from a teacher-centered approach where the teacher holds all authority to a more balanced model where power is shared between the teachers and students. This encourages collaboration, critical thinking, and student autonomy, with teachers acting as facilitator rather than sole authorities. It creates a more exclusive and democratic learning environment. So the second one is the function of content. Focus on high-order thinking rather than memorization, allowing learners to actively explore and reflect on their learning. Beyond simple memorization and engage in deeper learning, this approach emphasizes critical thinking, problem-solving, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Instead of just recalling facts, students actively explore ideas, make connections, and reflect on their understanding, promoting meaningful learning experiences. It encourages curiosity and independent thinking, allowing learners to apply what they've learned in real-world contexts. So the third one is the role of the instructor. Serve as a facilitator that promotes learning rather than a context expert or authoritarian classroom manager. As facilitator, the instructor provides resources, prompts, discussion, asks thought-provoking questions, and offer feedback, but they do not dictate how students should think or what they should learn. This approach fosters more student-centered classroom where learners take ownership of their education, develop problem-solving abilities, and become more engaged in their own intellectual growth. It promotes a partnership in learning rather than a top-down approach, leading to a more dynamic and interactive classroom experiences. So the fourth one is the responsibility of learning. Promote independent, active, autonomous learning as learners become more responsible for their own learning. By taking responsibility for their learning, students become more motivated, confident, and capable of problem solving. This process helps them build essential skills such as critical thinking, self-regulation, and adaptability, which are valuable both in academic setting and in a real-life situation. It also promotes a deeper understanding of the material as students actively seek to apply and explore concepts rather than simply memorizing facts. Ultimately, this approach empowers students to become lifelong learners. So the fifth one is the evaluation purposes and processes. Utilize assessment as tool to promote learning and not tools to generate grades. Incorporate authentic assessment with meaningful ongoing feedback. Meaningful feedback is a key component in this process. Rather than waiting until the end of the course to provide feedback, instructors offer regular, constructive input throughout the learning journey. This feedback helps students identify strengths, pinpoint areas for improvement, and refine their skills. It fosters a growth mindset, encouraging students to view learning as a continuous process, not just something the result is in a final grade. This approach ultimately supports deeper learning and personal growth. Overall takeaway and conclusions that learner-centered teaching enhances student autonomy, promotes active learning, and support a more personalized education experience, contributing to a long-term success and growth. So, that's all. I hope you learned something and thank you for watching.